I'm going to show you how to seam two pieces of knit fabric together when the V's are running towards each other along a bound off edge. I use this technique in my Brienne cardigan. More often than not, when you are seaming two pieces of knit fabric together, like on the underside of a sleeve, you'll seam them this way where the V's are running parallel to each other. You'll pick up this little bar in between and do that on either side to pull the fabric together. When you're doing it this direction, like we are in the Brienne cardigan along the sides, it takes a little more effort to get it to look like these columns are running together. Like this column, for example, is just one row of stitches. It's worth mentioning I did a long tail cast on for this swatch, and these knots represent the size of the needle that I used for that long tail cast on. That's how I keep track when I come back to this swatch someday and want to use this yarn. I know what the gauge is using a particular needle size. Okay, so I have a tapestry needle threaded. I'm using contrast yarn so you can see well what I'm doing. And I've got the swatches facing each other along their bound off. Oops, that's the cast on edge. Here it goes. Bound off edges together. I'm going to go in through this left-hand side first, and I'm going to go right in through the center of the selvage stitch. On this side, it's pretty easy to see that selvage stitch. It's right here along the edge and directly below this bind off edge. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to leave about a 4 to 6 inch tail. I'm going to come across and I'm going to look for the selvage stitch over here right below the bound off edge. You may have to roll back the bound off edge to see that. It's here. And I want to come in between the selvage stitch and the first column of stitches. Right here. Most of the time when I'm using this method, I will cinch these stitches every 3 or 4 with this bulky on-plied yarn. It starts to felt early, so I'm going to try 2 or 3 before I cinch the fabric. Okay, so we have the yarn anchored. Now to seam these two pieces of fabric together, I'm going to go back through the stitch that I first came into, so this selvage stitch through the center, and just below the bound off edge, I want to pick up 2 legs of this stitch like this. Same thing on the other side. In where you came from and pick up 2 legs. Just making sure I got it there just below the bound off edge. Okay, let's do one more and then we'll cinch it. So in where I came from and underneath 2 legs, making sure I don't accidentally hop down here. Okay, let's go ahead and cinch these up a little, not all the way. I'm going to pull a little from the anchored edge and a little for the top. I am going to cinch it all the way down to make it invisible, but first I want to show you what's happening here, how you're creating essentially another stitch between these once separate pieces. See how the V's, this column of stitches just transitions into a new stitch and then into the next. That's what we want, is that kind of, well, seamless looking join there. Now you can cinch this down. You'll probably want to cinch it down to make these invisible. There we go. And then we'll keep going. So in where we came from, a little harder to see now that it's cinched down. And under 2 legs. Okay, same over here. In where we came from, under 2 legs. In where we came from, under 2 legs. In where we came from, under 2 legs. Let's cinch a little. In where we came from, under 2 legs. In where we came from, under 2 legs. Let's do a couple more and then I'll show you what it looks like on the wrong side of the fabric. In where we came from, under 2 legs. In where we came from, under 2 legs. Yeah, it becomes kind of rhythmic and not too tough once you've done the first couple of stitches. Okay. So that's not a perfect cinching job, but you can see how this fiber is tricky because it's unplied. So it really wants to start felting and joining right away. But here's an example of a column of stitches from one side to the other, flowing what looks like seamlessly. Okay, let's take a look at the other side. There will be a raised seam here. Here's what it looks like from the sides. And so you do get a little bulk when you have a seamed sweater, but you also get the benefit of that stability that you get in a seamed sweater. And that's how you join 2 pieces of fabric when the stitches are running horizontally rather than vertically.